Welcome to SVG-TV News and Sports for Monday, February 17th, 2014. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. Educator and consultant Fillmore Isaacs is appealing to Vincentians to be more responsible in their approach to politics. Isaacs made a comment on Hits Talk yesterday where the subject of political divisiveness in St. Vincent and the Grenadines was discussed. According to Isaacs, the problem of political divisiveness stems from the dependency by civil society on politicians, adding that there needs to be a level of responsibility amongst members of civil society.
Maybe part of our problem is that we reside so much in the hands or laps of the leaders that we do not take responsibility for ourselves. For if I should take the analogy further, you could incite me to go and hit the Honorable Gonsalves. You could tell me everything with him, but I have to make that decision. Why am I going to hit him? I don't have a need for to hit him. You understand? So we must take responsibility. Individuals and groups must take responsibility for that. I want to say we live in a diverse world. It is a diverse world in terms of the environment, in terms of the peoples. And if we are diverse, then we'll have diverse opinions.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Camilo Gonsalves, while making his contribution to the subject, says in democratic societies, political divisiveness is something that is expected.
It is out of this competition of ideas that you hope that solutions will arise. People are constantly trying to score what are solely political points. And that's on both sides of the fence. This is not me saying that there's one side that is blameless and one side that is not. Trying to score political points instead of trying to score substantive points where you will be making constructive suggestions or ideas. So these are the purely political nature of a campaign that never ends.
Meanwhile, political activist Junior Bacchus says the political history of St. Vincent and the Grenadines has always been one of division.
To me, expressing one view is good. Whether or not we have difficulty with the person's points of view, it is good that people have that level of freedom to share and express their views. You move from the period of PPP, you come into the period where PPP somehow it moved into NDP, Labour into ULP, and it is no different in the sense that at election time and you have that kind of election battling.
This country's Minister of Foreign Affairs has made it clear that Deputy Consul General to New York, Edson Augustus, who was recently recalled by his government, is not wanted for a crime here. In an interview during the unrendered television program aired over the weekend, Gonsalves noted that what Augustus has committed does not account to a crime. Instead, he has had his position revoked and is no longer employed by government. In explaining why his post was revoked, the Foreign Affairs Minister said that the Deputy Consul General was holding himself out to members of the Vincentian diaspora whose immigration status are not regularized and suggesting that for a fee he could help them jump the queue to get a green card. Gonsalves said Augustus may have defrauded someone in the United States, but they do not have the specifics of what he promised. However, the information they have gathered thus far does not account to a crime. Meantime, the Foreign Affairs Minister outlined that since the Deputy Consul General has been recalled, he has not returned to the state, which he says is disappointing. This country's government is being called upon to carry out firm actions and come clear on the matter of former Deputy Consul General Edson Augustus. On a radio program today, opposition leader Annie Eustace said the government has not been forthcoming with its information on the issue and said the longer the government takes, the more damage is being done to the image of the country.
The more we dilly-dally with this, the more we get into difficulty. The more people outside get into difficulty. Those who want to travel get into difficulty. We already had a situation in the United States already with the former UN ambassador. We would have another one now with this gentleman here now. Those things don't help our image. They just don't help our image and makes life more difficult for persons in the diaspora and those who want to travel. Let the others understand, the other nations, and that the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines does not tolerate this kind of thing by taking firm action.
And opposition MP for Central Kingstown, St. Clair Leacock, is questioning why Foreign Affairs Minister Camilo Gonsalves has spoken on an international issue in relation to the Deputy Consul General, as opposed to Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves. Speaking on the NDP's New Times radio program earlier today, Leacock says he believes the Prime Minister has suddenly found someone in his cabinet in whom he has confidence other than himself.
Normal course of business, it would either be a ministerial statement or a special press conference of which he will be dominating. But suddenly, he has found his feet in his party, in that his son, in whom he is well pleased.
Yes, that's very true.
You know, so I think Vincent must not lose sight of that. No one in his cabinet has up to this day ever been able to present a statement on anything international or national. Even if you ask about bananas, the spokesman also will say it's international matter. Prime Minister must speak to that.
Meanwhile, since the recall was announced by government, Vincentians here at home and abroad has been airing their views on the matter in several quarters, particularly on radio and through social media. SVG-TV News took to the streets of Kingstown today, where some persons expressed mixed views on the matter.
Minister for Foreign Affairs, Camilo Gonsalves, was saying that Edison Augustus has not broken any law in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but that is not the point. The point we are making is that they have caused a huge embarrassment to our country, and that is what they should do. We are calling for Prime Minister Gonsalves and his son Camilo Gonsalves to take full responsibility.
Mr. Augustus trying to help St. Vincent people, and they're on the damn too much. They're too wicked to Mr. Augustus and putting all the blame on him, and he trying to help we.
I'm not too sure, except from what I've read in the papers, as to what the charges are and the accusation. But if it has to do with either of the information that is in the paper, I think the government would have made the correct move before damaging any further relationship that we have with the United States. I think all we need to do, whether this government or the next government or whoever government is in power, is to look closely at the reputation of the people that we send abroad.
I just hope that the time is given for the investigation to take place. And I just hope that after the investigation has taken place, that whatever has to be done will be done. On one hand, for the benefit of Vincentians across the board.
While some have already formulated their opinions on the issue, others say they need more information from the government.
So maybe nothing more this time maybe come on the story stuff. I don't mind, but I didn't really get all of what you would like to hear.
I don't want to voice my opinion about it. I prefer personally not to talk about that.
The 25th intersessional meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of the CARICOM Community, CARICOM, scheduled for later this month, has been postponed. According to the CARICOM Secretariat, the two meetings originally scheduled for February 24th and 25th at the Buckermont Bay Resort will now take place on March 10th and 11th. The media release from the Secretariat says the postponement was necessary as the original dates were inconvenient to some heads of government. Farmers throughout the country who are looking to take advantage of the $6 million credit revolving facility from the Farmer Support Company being offered through the Ministry of Agriculture are being invited to attend a series of meetings which will be taking place across the country tomorrow. Minister of Agriculture Saboto Caesar says the meetings will be taking place at various venues from 5 p.m. and will have on hand extension officers to assist farmers with the forms they will have to fill out to secure the funds.
Because it is very important that we get the forms out to the farmers as quickly as possible, that these forms are filled out and returned to the ministry so that the extension staff working with the Farmer Support Company can conduct the farm interviews. At these meetings, we expect questions and comments from the farmers. We also will be following up these meetings with other meetings with critical stakeholders within the agricultural sector. This $6 million is expected to capitalize production during the first quarter of 2014.
A number of students from the Institute of the Eastern Caribbean Institute of Agriculture and Forestry is currently visiting St. Vincent and the Grenadines to get a first-hand view of crop cultivation here. Addressing the students this morning, Minister of Housing and former Minister of Agriculture Montgomery Daniel says he too has been a student of agriculture and forestry over 30 years now, and explains that his decision to attend the institute has placed him in a strategic position to be what he is today. Moreover, Daniel challenged the students to stay focused and committed to their goals.
Despite the challenges, once you have that application and that dedication, I'm sure you will reach a long, long way in life. ECAF, I believe, is a stepping stone to greater things in your life. I know many individuals who have passed through ECAF and are of outstanding personalities today. Some may have stayed directly in agriculture. Others may have gone on to other things. But for those of you who are going to stay in agriculture, I want to say to you equally, agriculture is getting more and more challenging.
Meanwhile, Minister of Agriculture Saboto Caesar challenged the students to make the best of the time here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
During your stay here, I have been advised by the organizers that you will be taking a trip to Greg's. Probably you're going to see some on the leeward side as well, where you get some of the best root crops in the world, the best Dashin, the best Tanya, the best Edos in the world. You are going to see the farms and meet some of the farmers who produce a lot of these commodities. ECAF is an institution that continues to serve not only Trinidad and Tobago, but also the region. And I will be as bold enough to say that you can have a government with the best agricultural policies in the world. If you do not have technicians to implement those policies, you would have excellent speeches by ministers in Parliament, but the foot soldiers, if they do not carry out the work, then you would not see the types of results.